Sipping Tea with Suzanne. As always, I am your fabulous host, Positively Suzanne, and I'm so excited. I'm always excited about every show, but the season finale holds a special place in my heart because it's always an opportunity for me to have multiple guests and just really talk about some topics that I really find very relevant to what's happening in today's world and things that are near and dear to my heart. So, in the studio with me today, I have Miss Julie. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Why is she acting shy? I do not know. She was like, hi. Julie's not shy.
No.
No. And then I have Sylvia.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
And then we have Kayanna.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because we are going to be talking about the power of female friendship in all its glory, just the many layers. And if you know anything about me, you know that I really am very passionate about female empowerment and really about the relationships that we have with women. So I'm really excited to dive in and hear from these brilliant women. Yeah. So I'm going to say thank you first. So first of all, I want to say thank you to our loyal viewers and subscribers for those who have stuck with us for the entire year. This is the season finale of season 4. So that means you guys have stuck out, yes, for 4 seasons. We really appreciate you for those who tune in either on Facebook or on YouTube. And we got to shout out our executive producer, Paul Anderson, who makes the magic happen week after week. All right. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with any of the guests, where have you been? But I will, certainly give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. So the idea for me behind a season finale, again, is an opportunity to talk about a particular topic and hear different views and different perspective. And these lovely young ladies, I've been in the community with them for a while and certainly know some of their views, but I'm really fascinated and excited to hear your take on the topics tonight. And I think sometimes folks think if you discuss things that are not necessarily like rosy, it's like it's bad, but it's not that it's bad. I think it's important that we have these conversations, and I think that we need to talk about it because I personally believe like female friendships are very important, and they mean a lot to me. And I think that we just see too many female relationships that are not positive, right? And that's the thing that's glamorized. We see Mean Girls and we see frenemies and any of those reality shows, and I'm your best friend, and then they go on the camera and they talk about each other, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I don't watch reality TV, because it's like I love the fashion, but it's like I just can't wrap my mind around that things that they say it's friendship.
Right.
And I think sometimes the women who say the loudest platforms to say like they're for women and they advocate for women, they stand for women, sadly behind closed doors they are doing the complete opposite. And I think we have to mention the names of other women in rooms of opportunity, whether you rock with them or not. Like if somebody does something, well, like mention it, call it out and things like that. So I'm excited to dive into that tonight. So yay. Yeah, she's like, what did I sign up for? No, welcome. So, I mean, because you're right at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and, what is a little bit about what you do, and then we're going to just come down the line.
Sure, yeah, thank you. So I'm Julie Bowditch, and I am the Executive Director of CASA Project Worcester County by day. And CASA is an organization. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and we advocate for youth through the juvenile court system. And very passionate about that work, and very passionate about just generally, social justice issues, and then sort of personally, that kind of work continues for me, and I am a big champion of sort of local business and local organizations, and I think that's kind of me in a nutshell.
All right, I love it.
Sylvia Ruiz, and I am the director for Medicare, and what we do is it's PRISM benefits, and what we do is we really try to tailor insurance in a different way. It's not just insurance, so we really go in and educate. We try to educate and get you to understand the logic behind the insurance, because most people don't understand that. And it can be cumbersome, as you know, for any small business, individual, or my specialty now, Medicare. So anyone who is on Medicare, so that's what I do. And when I'm not adulting, because that's the adulting piece, right?
Oh, yes.
When I'm not adulting, helping with some community events through the Wellstorm Inc., who is my go-to for for community service that I'm doing, and I believe in its mission, and I believe in everything we do. So
yeah, we love our Carla.
yes, I love Carla.
Yes.
I love the mission and love doing the work there. Yes.
Yes, Miss Kayanna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayanna James. I'm the district director for Senator Robin Kennedy. People always ask me what I do, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I do so many different things. I wear so many different hats.
Yeah.
A lot of it revolves around, constituent services, helping people resolve matters in the community. And sometimes they reach out via phone or email, and I basically connect them with state departments or community resources. I am also a community doula, so I do doula. I have a doula business called the Doula Difference, Massachusetts, which is very great. Just helping birthing women go through that process as smoothly as we can. And I also like to advocate in the community, bringing young women together for networking, to explore different opportunities, to share and discuss on different topics, things like that. So a little bit of everything.
I love that. Well, two things. I have a young woman that I met recently that's new in her role that I will introduce you to.
Okay.
Absolutely new to Worcester, and she's comparing us to Connecticut. I was like, girl, no, we got you. She's like, there's nothing to do. I was like, wow, okay. And then another thing. So I went to an event. I don't know where. I don't know when. I got this pen that says, "Let's doula this," and it's black. Is it yours?
It's not.
Oh,
That's cute,
I wish
though.
it was.
It's lovely. It's a black pen with gold, and it says, "Let's doula this."
That's cute.
It writes beautifully. I love the saying. I don't know where I got it, and I need another one. So I mentioned it to someone the other day that thought it might be yours. So okay.
It's a good idea, though.
It's a good idea. It is quite lovely. Let's doula this. Well, welcome, ladies. I really appreciate being in community with you all. I think we've run into each other. So pour. So it's sipping tea with Suzanne, but like on the season finale, they get sparkling champagne. All right, non-alcoholic, but all right.
We can pretend.
Let them know. We have a whole nother bottle. You could fill the glass up, girl. But let us not let folks think like, wait a minute, they are. So when you see us getting passionate, it's not alcohol. I promise you.
It's fun.
Right?
That's organic.
Like it's just they're just naturally effervescent, right? All right. So thank you guys for saying yes. Honestly, I've been in community with all of you guys. I've done different projects in some capacity or the other, and I really respect and appreciate the work that you guys do in the community. What you do for CASA, what you do for insurance, what you do for the nonprofit world in terms of helping out Wellstorm, who focuses on food insecurity and mental health and all that. And we mentioned Carla, and what you do for Senator Kennedy, and what you do on your own, as a doula. So you guys represent a large part of our community, and that's why I was so excited to get all three of you guys on this panel. But we're gonna dive right in.
Let's do it.
Yay! All right. So, I prefaced the show talking about we're going to be talking about the many layers of female friendships. So, I'll start with you, Sylvia, since you're in the middle.
Okay.
Has there been a female friendship that has significantly shaped your life?
Yes. Yes, there has. And how has it shaped? It really has made me soul search. It really has taught me a few good things, which is forgiveness, forgiving myself first, which is really important. You got to forgive yourself, let go, wish well, and know that that does not affect or change what happened in the past, the beautiful moments that were brought on, right, by a certain friendship. And then it moves to something that's no longer there. You sort of self-discover, but it doesn't identify and it doesn't hold me to who my voice is, what my principles are, what my purpose is. It's really taught me a lot of soul searching. I will share with you, it's been a journey, and it's been a healing journey, but a good journey.
Okay.
because you have to look at it, right? I always try to look at life. We look at negative things when they impact us, but we also have to learn from those and turn them into positives. And that's pretty much what I try to do in life. I always have. And I lost that for a second because when you're in that storm, you sort of lose yourself. But then when you sort of feel what you need to feel and say, okay, I need to wake up here, you come back into your own. And you come back stronger, you come back more confident because you remember your purpose and who you are. And no one can turn that off for you, you know? So sometimes friendships they're like, everyone always says there's seasons, right? People come and go. I really believe that people come into your life for a reason. There's a message for that friendship that's going to mark your life. Whether it's good or bad, and you just have to convert it into something that's a learning lesson for you, and to be able to, right, to move forward and be able to stand strong again and say, I'm confident in who I am, and that's not gonna sit here and say, I don't have a voice, I don't have the power, I don't have this, I don't have that. I know who I am.
That's wonderful.
And it took a little bit of soul searching, but it's been real. It's been real, but it's been a journey.
Well, I'm glad you discussed that first, because I think oftentimes, you know, when we think about friendships that shaped your life, we really think about the positive experience, like the great friendship. But, you know, negative experience has sometimes, you know, shaped your life. But I like how you pulled something from that, because there is a quote, and it's not original. It says, just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy.
Yeah.
Right.
That takes real growth and maturity. Because when you're betrayed and you're hurt, you want to go scorch her earth, right? But you have to kind of remember who you are. And I mean, it's hard sometimes to think about the good times that you had while you're going through it. But I'm glad that you were able to just be reminded of your purpose and your values. And you don't owe that to anyone.
Exactly. Just remember who you are, and that, you know, life has thrown some curveballs and it sort of shapes you, but I feel that there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why.
Yeah.
There's a bigger purpose for you.
All
So
right, wonderful. All right, Julie.
Yes.
Any significant friendship that's shaped your life?
So for me, I feel like I approached this topic in a way that was more of like seasons of my life, right? You kind of mentioned it too, but I've had lots of female friendships throughout different seasons of my life that have all shaped me. I think, again, this is not an original thing, but I read somewhere that, you know, you are the sum total of all the people in your life, you know, and you kind of take something from all these different interactions or relationships, and that kind of like makes up who you are and maybe the way you perceive the world or interact with the world. So for me, I think about even like really early friendships. I think about like when you're a kid and the way you approach, you know, friendships very differently, you know, and then as that kind of shifts and evolves as you go through life. And like Sylvia, like you said, some of those friends have gone their separate ways. Some of them have stayed in your life or have come in and out of your life. And I feel like I'm finally at a point, I'm in my 40s, you know, I'm at a point in my life where I'm so okay with that. You know, it's like you said, it's not something that is bad or negative. It's just that you can still enjoy the beautiful memories you've had with people. And some of those people have stayed in my life, and that is really special, you know? But it's not an expectation, I guess I'll say, because our lives take so many different directions over years and decades and everything, that I think being able to say like, maybe we drifted apart because, you know, our circumstances were different or whatever, it's okay. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And then even for those, like, I think we'll probably get into those kinds of like more challenging separations, even then, like you said, there's something to take away from that too that's very, I think, can help you learn about yourself. So for me, there have been lots of different ones, and I think I could name them all. I won't bore you all, but I can think of, you know, my neighborhood best friend, and I can think of my teenage, like we like weathered all of these hormonal storms and like first crushes and all these crazy things together, and like we still love each other. You know, we don't see each other often, but you know, and then on and on through different you know, chapters of my life, but how those people were confidants, they helped you learn more about yourself. Hopefully you helped them to, you know, they dried your tears, they laughed with you until you cried, and all of those were really beautiful, I think, regardless of how life took us.
And if I may say something to
Please.
piggyback off of you, it's so true, because as I'm the oldest here, I think, when I look at my life, raising children, I had a certain group
Right.
of friends. And then as they as they
Yeah.
grew up, then you go into
Mm-hmm.
a different phase of life, sort of to what you're saying, and those people do mark you some way of they shape you. They
No,
do.
absolutely. They
They
leave a
do.
little piece of
They
themselves
do.
with you, right? And I
Yep.
love you talked about, so it's like different friendships. Because I remember, I mean, I was never a fitness person. So I'm like, but some people like they go through a fitness phase
Yep.
and they have those fitness friends.
The gym
and,
buddies,
Like it's
yeah.
great. And so I never went through that phase, FYI. But. But I've gone through like different phases, right? Where I was like, okay, maybe I'll be a walk-in or, whatever. Even deeper than that. I remember I at one point my dad was really strict, so I didn't go to the clubs. And then like I remember like there was like a brief period, then I started to go to the club, and like those friends, like we had the best time. We laughed,
Yep.
we froze in the, in the skinny
Oh my
skirt, the
gosh.
tiny skirts and 0-degree
things we
weather.
did.
Right.
And like those memory well. But again, now I'm in a different phase, like married with kids and job and things like that. And some of them are still going to the same place, 20 something years
Yep.
later. That's you. But I
Totally.
just can't see myself going back there. And like when we see each other, we catch up.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. But then again, then I gotta go home and figure out what's for dinner.
Right.
So,
Right.
so absolutely like different stages. All right, the baby of the group. Yeah. So same question for you. Has there been any friendship that has significantly shaped your life?
Yes. People often say, like, the people you meet in college, they'll be some of your greatest friends. And for me, that was true. I have a girl that I met in college. She's actually from Worcester. Never seen her in Worcester, but I met her in Rhode Island. And still till this day, 11 or 12 years later, we're best friends.
I love that.
I think it's nice because she gets to, and Julie mentioned it, she saw me through so many different phases. Like, baggy clothes, Kayanna, really loud Kayanna, like hot temper Kayanna. And now it's just like, oh, wow. Like, you've come such a long way. And I think one of the most important things about friendships, but especially female friendships, is to have friends that can speak life into you, right? Even when you don't see it on yourself, like you might be like, I'm cool, but I'm not that. They're like, no, you are great.
You are that.
You can do it. You're gonna succeed. I'm gonna help you. We're gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think she's been that person for me, which I appreciate, because honestly, as a woman, I do feel like we can have it all.
Yes.
And it's a lot though. We're
Yes.
handling so many different things. For me, I always say, I'm not only a woman, I'm young and I'm black. That's like
Girl.
3 things. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
That's
so
right.
I'm like, so it's so much pressure sometimes, but you always have to have somebody around who can really uplift you. And she's been that for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Like we
Not
need
bad.
those people in our life that sees things in us that sometimes we don't see in ourselves,
Right.
or just sometimes when you forget, because we all have moments. No matter how fantastic we are, we all have moments when we just need a little pick me up, and they just remind you, like go after that job, Kayanna. That job is yours. What do you mean? You don't have all the things. You better go get that job, girl.
Right.
So we all need those cheerleaders in our life. Just
Right.
remind us how phenomenal we are, and then the fact that she knows you. So you're like,
Yeah.
wait, she really knows what she's talking about.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, y'all, for sharing that. And I want to ask, because I know I started with you before, but I'll start with you again.
Sure.
So why is female friendship? And I think you kind of touched on that a little bit. So, but what is the significance of female friendship in your life, and why is that important for you to have female friends?
For me, as a woman, there's certain things. So growing up, I actually had more male friends because I like to play the flag football. I like to go out and do the boy things. I grew up as a
Really?
tomboy, so
Okay.
all my other friends, they want to do hair and nails, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do any of that. But I realized as I got older, like these guys, sometimes they cannot relate on certain things. Like I can't tell them about my period, and they're like, oh yeah, we understand. No, but I can tell my female friend, like, those cramps, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's nice to have somebody to relate to and just go through the process. One thing I'm finding out is you cannot do life alone. So it's nice when you have, and it's not a relationship companion, but you have that friendship companion, someone you can relate to, someone you can bounce ideas off of. That's something that I take not very lightly. So yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Same question for you, Julie.
Ooh.
Yeah. Why is female friendship important to you in your life?
I just would echo a lot of what Kayanna said. Honestly, I think there's like this level of intimacy with female friendships in particular. And you may not even feel like you're maybe that close or you spent that much time with them, but there's just something that we all share in common, you know, and it is also not only like the things that our bodies do to us, but also like the things that the patriarchy does to us, you know, and like these are such a they should be, and they can be if we let them be a bonding thing and something that kind of like unites us versus, I know we'll probably talk later about some of the ways it can polarize us too. But, you know, I think you kind of know who your people are and you feel it's just different, right? Like, again, like you said, gender, whatever, you have friends of all different genders and types of, you know, lifestyles, whatever it might be. But your female friends are a different breed. You know, you just, it's something that I think you said you can't do life alone. And like that sisterhood, I think for me is what really does it. It's something that you can't replicate. I wouldn't want to, nor would I don't think I could, you know, do life without that sort of like support system. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And
Same. I'll echo on both of them because it's true. I mean, the different phases, being the eldest here, having children, having grandchildren, it's like you have friendships that are, I have friendships that are there from very young, and we raised our children together, as I said earlier, so it sort of shapes you there, right? And it's important because they can understand you being a mom, what you go through, the pains. One of the hardest painful things to admit is when your child is doing something wrong. No one can say it, but you as a parent can. What other than another mom or another woman, doesn't have to be a mom, but another woman to understand that. It's not the same as going to a male. It's very different. It's just very different. And, you know, your insecurities and stuff, you know, sort of like what you were saying, you know, it's like, who else to talk to but another woman?
no, absolutely.
And you know, as you are aging, you're aging with these people, and they can help support you through those different things, I feel. But then sometimes you may need those women who are a little bit older. Sometimes you need them a little bit younger. I know I got them all. I got them all different ages, and they're important to me. They're very important to me. Even, you know, sometimes I sit here and I'll say to Carla, I'm too old. Like, I shouldn't be hanging out with these girls. Like, what am I doing here? And she's like, stop that. But it's true. We need each
My
other.
oldest friend is 82 years old.
See?
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
That's
her.
awesome.
Yes.
So I feel like, you know, women of different ages, ethnic backgrounds is really important, because then I also feel that my culture plays it's very important to me. And if you don't understand my culture, you don't understand me as a woman sometimes, of my cultural beliefs. So that's really important to help guide, especially when you're here. You know what I'm saying? And I always say I'm in two canoes. If I move this way, I'm too white. If I move this way, I'm too Latina. So I'm first-born generation raised here, but very cultural aware. So the women in my life, it's been very important to like be able to identify with them and need that support, as both women said
Absolutely.
here.
No, absolutely. And you certainly should feel that. I know, like, as a Black woman, you know, it's sometimes it's like you have friends. I have friends of different races, but like there is certain things that truly only a Black woman will understand. You know, it's like
I had to catch myself. I was like, you know?
I had a friend, and like my niece like kept tapping her head, and then she was like, "What's going on? Is she okay?" And it was just
like, just an itch.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, I think sometimes culture is very important. It's not necessarily just race. Race is absolutely important, but culture is also important, because I think somebody that like truly understand, like, well, you don't have to explain to, is like, not all the time you want to explain.
Right.
I've had moments where, like, if I had a tough day and I called a particular friend, I was like, all right, just meet me at TJ Maxx. And it was just like, we didn't talk, we just go and we walk and we smell candles, and then it's like mostly me, because she doesn't like shopping. But, you know, but it's just like, again, it's like, for me, like, it's comfort, right? Like, I'm just, I don't want to talk per se. I know that I can talk, but I just want to just walk through and just look at pretty things and just be cool with that. So Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Wonderful. So I'm going to start with you, Julie. See, we haven't started one with you. Have you ever had to end a friendship?
Ooh.
And what was that experience like?
Yeah, I have. And it's frankly, it's heartbreaking. I think that one mistake we make, like societally, and this is just my opinion, but is that, I think we undervalue sometimes friendships. And I think that, like, just as, if you lost a family member or, had a falling out with them or a romantic partner or whatever, it's just as significant when it's somebody who's very close to you. They know your secrets. They know you trust them, and I think when that is betrayed, it has a very serious impact. And I think, like, I appreciate the opportunity to open up about it because I think a lot of us have experienced it. Maybe everybody has at some point or another in, some form or fashion. And I think it's a process of grieving because for me, at least, when something like this happened to me, I was very quick to, like, blame myself. And I was very quick to say, like, oh, I should have seen more red flags, or I should have had better boundaries, or I should have not opened myself up so much or whatever. And it took me a while, a lot of work and self growth to say, like, no. Like, trusting someone, loving someone, caring about someone, those are not character flaws, And if somebody mishandles that or somebody doesn't turn out to be who you believe them to be, that's not your responsibility. And, I think it's equally important to say, be proud of yourself for setting a boundary. Sometimes the setting a boundary is what causes a rift. And I think when you heal a little bit, you can look back and say you're proud of yourself for saying, rather than get sucked deeper into this thing that might have been really toxic or really unhealthy, you said, you know what? I don't like where this is going, or I don't like who I am around you, or whatever it might be. I think that once you're able to heal and reflect a little bit, you're able to sort of own that a little bit too and say, not everything is meant to be forever, like we've already talked about a little bit. And there's also something beautiful in, like, knowing yourself enough to say, I gotta step away, and if that, however that's received, you hope we're all adults, you hope somebody will say best of luck and totally get it and whatever, but sometimes it doesn't go down like that, and so you have to, again, like I think Sylvia, you said earlier, but just know yourself enough to know, like, this doesn't change who I am, this doesn't change who I know myself to be, but it's a process. It's definitely a process because there really is, like, almost cycles of grief when something like that, I think, changes, or especially if it ends in more of a, like, challenging way versus just drifting apart. That's something different, right? Like, that's sort of a mutual, like, love to hear from you once in a while, but this is something different where I think, at least for me, I was very quick to question myself and sort of judge myself, be hard on myself. It took me a while to say, you know what, like, you're only responsible for you. And, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's tricky.
Can be traumatizing.
Very
Like,
traumatizing.
traumatizing,
Yeah. And I think also just being able to name that and say,
Yeah.
this is hard, this sucks,
Yeah.
I'm sad. Even though you maybe, you did the right thing or, it's okay to say, I think it's important to name that and say, like, it's okay to also grieve what you hoped it would be or what you believed it was. And also not allow yourself to be, like, too jaded by it. Sure, you can learn some things, hopefully, from it, but also you don't want to be, like, too guarded or too, incapable of, like, trusting or opening yourself up again. So, but then on the flip side of that, I think in my experience anyway, there are friends who helped heal that part of you too, that then came along and you're like, oh yeah, I can trust, I can love, I
They
can.
remind you.
Yes, right. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, a friendship, I mean, it's just as important as a romantic relationship. And a breaking up is similar to, like, a relationship
100%.
ending, because I think, when you're with your spouse, your partner, whoever, and, like, you have this really great relationship, but, like, the friend is just, like, different. Like, there are things that I tell my friend that I don't tell my husband, not because, but I mean, I don't think he wants to hear, like, just
that level
and I don't
of
talk to him about it. Like, I don't want to talk to him.
He's like, wait, what?
Yeah, right? Nothing. I talk to him about everything. but somebody that knows you completely, and that part of you, and then like to just lose that, it is a loss, and you do have to mourn. And I think sometimes we you said you question ourselves, but we also, you know, like, well, what is that person saying or whatever, and then others, like you start to think about what others think about the friendship ending, like whose version are they going to believe, and it's like it's a road that you do not want to go down.
That's
just
right.
like,
I have a saying that I learned kind of through actually a situation about this, but it's like you don't need to show anybody somebody else's true colors. They'll do that on their own.
Right.
You know, and I think it can take a lot of patience and maturity to be able to like just take that step back and say, I don't need to share a narrative. I don't need to tell a story. I just need to do me, and they will
figure it out.
They will show themselves to folks, you know, and that can be a very hard thing to do, especially if you have mutual friends or other things, but it is worth it if you can like truly take the high road and say like, I don't need to spill the tea on this one. Like they'll do themselves in.
Character will reveal themselves.
That's it.
Yep. And as a church goer,
Every
what the
time.
pastor says, what done in the dark must come to light. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you. So Sylvia, I know you talked about it a little bit, you know, not a little bit, a lot, like in your answer to the first question, but have you ever had to intentionally end a friendship? And, you know, okay.
Yes, and sort of piggybacking on, you know, what you had said earlier, it's really like you're splitting up, you're breaking up. It's a romantic relationship ending, right? It's like you have to mourn that.
Yep.
You have to own that too, because after you mourn it, like you got to own that and say, okay, it did happen. You feel what you feel, and you need to move on. You just need to move on. Especially one of the things is when we're in the community, as we all are, all of us are, right? How do we walk back into that space? And you were talking about what are people thinking, right? So you start to second guess yourself and doubt yourself. But again, nobody can sit there and say what your purpose is and how you're going to show up, because you're going to show up authentically as you are. They don't define you.
Right.
Nobody defines you. And though I think it's louder, and I remember this beautiful woman telling me not too long ago in a situation that I was talking to her, and she said, no one's really paying attention, Sylvia. Don't worry about that. You remember
It's something
that?
that I had to learn too. No one's thinking about you the way you're thinking about you.
And I'm like, oh, Julie, that's right. But here I was in an uproar about making a decision on something that I had to make, and I'm like, well, what's the community going to think? What are people going to? And she's like, nobody's really paying attention to that, Sylvia. Only you are. So I take what Julie said to me as walking into that room. It's loud in my head, but oh, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say? Oh, what are they? No, it's loud in my head, not in theirs. They don't really care. They just want, you know,
They have their own anxiety going
Yeah,
on.
they're worried about their own issues, right?
So it's like walking in.
We're on our own.
Yes.
Walking in with your full purpose,
Yes.
who you are, stand firm with your head up high, and own yourself.
Yes. And are we allowed to swear on this show?
No.
No, okay. I'll do it PG then. When I was going through something, one of my girls said to me, like I was in the same shoes you were in, and she said, remember who the F you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, nobody else's perception changes that. And that, like, I really internalized that, and I was like, oh, wait a second. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still me.
Yeah. No, listen, I walk in every room as a queen.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
don't
you
care
do.
however anybody takes it.
Yep.
I'm a queen. I know it. I own it.
Yep.
And like, that's on you. Like if
Yep.
my confidence make you feel less about yourself, that's issues not with me. That issues with you, because I have never used anything that I have accomplished or who I am to make anyone feel less about themselves. I call women queen. I call them beautiful. I lift them up. I mention their names. So
Yes,
if
you
me
do.
succeeding or just
Winning.
being
Yep.
me, winning, like, and because I'm always winning, like regardless of what I'm going through, I'm always winning, because I'm always like, I fail so much. Like I fail so much, but I'm always winning because I'm just like, the failure doesn't define me, right?
Right.
So
That's a
if
lesson.
somebody sees you winning, me winning, her winning, and like they like take it as a personal affront to them, how's the issue with you?
Wild. Right.
It's with them. Like heal yourself.
That's right.
Go to therapy.
Exactly.
therapy.
Read a book.
Exactly.
Listen to a podcast. But
Take
This
it out
one.
for a walk. Take it out for a walk.
do something. But heal.
Exactly.
Like heal yourself. Like sometimes, they perpetrate these things, and like you said, you were thinking like people are gonna think, and I was like, perpetrate these things on you, and you're like, who, what?
Yeah.
Like, so just let them think what they think.
Think whatever they want to think.
Yep.
But be
And-
kind.
Right. And just release it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Release it
Yeah.
and just move on. Your purpose is bigger.
Absolutely.
And don't let that, define you and take up space.
Mhm.
Because it can really gnaw at
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it can
Bring
put
you down. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I think, I really am sitting next to you now, but I mean, with the other women, it's like, you guys have seen me. I mean,
Yes.
I've literally broken down with you guys, and it's like, oh my goodness. But
Yeah.
it's like you just get up and you move. And I will say this. You mentioned about, you trust people with secrets and you share. And one of my rule of thumb has always been, since I can remember being a little girl, what your friend shares with you,
Never leaves.
you never share
You're a vault.
that.
Yep.
You don't, and especially in a community
Yeah.
that you're all in, we're all in there.
And that includes if they do you dirty. That includes if you have a
Exactly.
falling out. Like they trusted
Exactly.
you, and that's
You do not
Yep.
cross that boundary.
Yeah.
I totally
And
agree.
if you do,
And that's
that
your
just
character.
says-
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that person was all about, and yeah, that's just one of my own personal rules. Whatever was said, and you can say whatever you want about me. I will never divulge your secrets because that's not who I am.
Absolutely.
And learn how
Absolutely.
I
to
hear that.
separate.
Mm.
And this is one of the toughest things I feel:
Mm-hmm.
friendship from business.
Mm.
If you can't do that,
Mm.
don't get involved.
Yep.
Mm.
You
Do
can't
not get
handle it.
involved. You have to be able to set your feelings of what your personal is
Mm.
to your business. And you and if you're in the community, you have to be able to do that. If not, you don't belong there. Is the way I see it.
Yeah.
Because you can't hurt people, and you can't.
That's
you
right.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
out there doing destroying people in any shape, way, or form.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I want to make sure I gave you an opportunity to answer that question. Have you ever had to end a friendship? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, unfortunately I have, or fortunately.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to echo what both Julie and Sylvia said, because it is like a breakup.
Yeah.
I even feel like it's more hurtful than an actual romantic breakup.
Yeah.
For me, I'm friendly and I laugh, but
Yeah.
for somebody to come close, it takes a lot. And I think it's because of my Jamaican upbringing.
Girl.
Like, we don't really let people in. So when I do let you in, it takes a lot. It takes
Yeah.
a while. So going through a betrayal or like something very painful, it takes a toll on me. I do want to highlight and just say thank you to both of you guys, because as you guys are speaking, you don't realize how much it's helping me. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, actually, yeah. You guys have made some really good points. So I just want to say thank you, because I had an unfortunate falling out with one of my close friends, and it hurts so much still to this day, because it's your friend, you want everything for them, but when they do something to betray you, like, how can you move forward, right? You have to be able to forgive, and it is tough. It is tough. I love what was said, because sometimes you think like everybody around is like, ooh, and they had a falling out, so what's going on? I am also coming to realize, like, it's not all about you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people just don't care. They just don't care. Like, they just don't care that much. And at first, I used to be like, oh, okay, now the person's going to ask me. And then it's like, oh, okay, no one asked me. So let's just say,
People are too self-absorbed.
I
mean,
like, literally, I'm like, it's really just not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I think it's
In a
just
good way.
the going
In this
through the
case.
grieving stages.
Yeah.
that's what gets me. But
Yeah.
you know, you just live, and you move on eventually.
No, no, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you learned from them. It was intentional to have women from different backgrounds, culture, race, here, ages, like, because I think everyone has different experiences, right? And I think your lived experience is important. I think everyone has value. And I actually was really excited to hear every single one of you guys that, she says she's the oldest, I called you the youngest. Julie's in the middle. She said her age already. So, but I have had so many conversations lately. I don't know if I have one of those faces, like I'll be random stranger and they'll just.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'll be talking like poor Paul.
Positively.
Like, yeah, right.
You.
Poor Paul, like he'll just standing there holding his phone. And but I've had a lot of questions lately from women asking me about friendships that have ended or shifted or like it's negative.
Yep.
And I mean, if a friend doesn't want you to win, I will surmise it's not a friend. And I think I've been like very vocal, and that's one of the reasons why I was like, I have to have this show, because a lot of women don't understand like how hard and heartbreaking it is to have the breakup of a friendship. Like it's hard. And you go through it at all ages, right? And we all, like you said, like thinking, everybody's thinking, and like, girl, ain't nobody thinking about you in your relationship. Like, but again, like we, because it's what's on our mind, right? We just assume that everyone, is thinking that. And I always say too, like, if I have a friend and I tell them something and they share it, I mean, that's on them. Maybe in the moment it will be like harmful and hurtful, but I'm not a serial killer.
Yeah.
So
your
it's
secrets aren't that dark.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, what are
It's
they
still
really
betrayal,
gonna
but
share?
Right.
Like,
That's true.
dude.
Right.
I'm not kidnapping babies or none of them things. So it's like, okay, like, yeah, she's. She's not fully 6 feet.
Yeah.
She's only 5'11" and a half. Okay.
It's out there.
Now people know. So it's just like, yeah, it's going to be embarrassing or, like whatever.
Frustrating,
And, it's just like once I walked down the street with my entire backside out, I didn't realize that. It's like, now y'all know. It's just.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
So I'm just like, sometimes like we've got to put it in perspective, like, because we think our secrets are so dark.
Right.
But again, it's not. It will hurt, but we'll get over it.
Yep.
We'll absolutely get over it. No, but thank you guys for sharing that. So what's the longest female friendship that you have had? I think you actually mentioned that. And it started in college, or is it not your longest female friendship?
That's not my longest.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. What is your
My
longest
longest
and when did it
female
start?
Friendship started in 3rd grade, so I was 8. I'm 30 now, so the math.
Okay.
I don't know.
I love 30-year-olds. Like, girl.
I love that.
22 years, yeah.
Yeah.
We're still friends. She moved away, but we're still like,
Oh.
And Julie mentioned it earlier. Like, we don't talk every day,
No.
but it's like you pick up the phone or you take a flight, and it's like, right back at it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, how about you?
Yes. So 14 years old.
Wow.
We've been friends since we were 14. Her name's Anna.
I love
Love
that.
her. We call her a baby.
Yeah.
And she's out in Florida right now, Isles of Capri. Gone out there a couple times to
Wow.
visit. And we don't speak all the time.
No.
But when we do, it's like we're on the phone for at least a good 2 hours, 3 hours,
Yeah.
and you just sort of catch up. And, sometimes it's like I just say, okay, I got to go see her. And I haven't been in quite a few years, but since I was 14.
Cool.
Wow.
And we've gone through the thick and thin, the boyfriends, the marriage, the divorces for her, a divorce, and just, you reconnect, and it's like, oh my God, like we're.
Yeah, no divorce with Papa Ruiz.
No.
Oh.
Not me. Her.
Now, I know.
But she got, it's crazy, that you can just have a friend like that, and you look back and you just pick up that phone and you reconnect with her at any moment, and so that's special.
Yeah,
that's special.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your
My
longest?
answer is a little bit cheating, but it's also true, is my sister.
Oh.
Yeah, so my sister is about 10 months older than me, so we're like really, I have so many sisters, Kayanna.
What?
Like blood sisters?
Nope, this is a whole story for another podcast, but
Okay.
I'm the only biological child in my family, but I'm one of 8 siblings.
Oh,
so
okay.
all my siblings were adopted at different ages and times in my life. But my sister and
Okay.
I are the oldest, so we
Okay.
were raised like,
Okay.
I guess, twins, except
Yes.
she's from South Korea. So
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
and she does live out of state now too. But just like you two were saying,
Yeah.
this is a type of relationship where
Yeah.
months could go by or whatever, and then you just share things. Like when you have somebody that's been in your life that long, especially a female friend, you there's nothing like it. Like you just have this bond that's based upon like whether it be celebrations or trauma, but like it's a very bonding thing. Yep, a lot of both.
A lot of both. Yes.
Yep, yeah. You just share experiences that like can't be replicated. So yeah, definitely my sister. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that's
awesome.
amazing. Like I love it. Like I love older friends. Like they'll sometimes be like, oh my God, remember when we were skinny? Like yes. Like remember, like there's like Y2K. I have friends that we went through Y2K.
Yep.
Were you born?
Y2K?
Wow.
She was born, but she was like a preschooler.
When they thought the world was gonna end at 2000,
Oh.
so it was a thing. Like they thought the world would end like at midnight at 2000. Like everything would shut down and all that.
Everything.
Like, so
I don't know why we thought that.
Yeah,
Everybody thought it.
And
Yeah.
people just randomly pick up the phone. Like remember cassette tape and
Oh,
like
yeah.
just. All right.
We're showing our age.
We're aging ourselves.
Paul put a question mark over
She's
there.
all confused. Like. Remember we had to put the pencil in and
Oh,
do
yeah.
it? Like
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
No, let's not traumatize.
Do you know that when we bought the house that we live in now, downstairs in one of the closets, there's actually one still sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, like
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, it doesn't
Okay.
have like the casing for the sharpening,
Oh, my God.
but it's got the sharpener there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh
Wow.
my God. Yeah.
I love it.
Throwing it back.
I love it. Oh my goodness. All right. So, what are your non-negotiables in a friendship?
Um.
And you're
I
all
think-
getting that question. So
Yes,
please.
I know that's a heavy one, but I guess I would say no, I'm not gonna be able to say it.
Reciprocal.
Why can't I say it?
Now we can't all say it.
Reciprocation.
Like they have
Yes.
to reciprocate, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is that suddenly a tongue twister?
Yeah, like we're all like
Roll that
it's
tongue.
the bare necessities.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, reciprocation.
Okay.
I think is like kind of it has a lot of applications,
Yeah.
but I think it just has to be a two-way street, right? So
Right.
for me, that's just I think at an earlier phases of a friendship, you're feeling that out. Does this person reaching out? Am I the only one that's reaching out? Are they sharing things that are maybe more personal, or is it just me, or vice versa? Are they oversharing? You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm the oversharer, so
I'm with you.
yeah. But you're trying to like see, are you matching my energy?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page? Is this person? Sometimes you meet people and they're like not looking for new friends. It's great for them. I mean, that's totally fine, right? But I think for me that's a big one because you just want people to meet you where you're at, and you want to meet them where they're at, and that kind of can't be faked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that again, I think it has a lot of different ways you can apply it, but for me, I think that's a big one. I mean, the list could go on, but yeah, I want to let my friends share.
One of my biggest important ones is if you are my friend and I did something you didn't like, you better damn well tell me. Do not let it go and
I
then
love
get
that.
upset with me
I love that.
and I'm not going to know what
Yeah.
happened. How can
Right.
I rectify or correct something if you don't tell me that?
Yeah.
If we're friends, you should feel comfortable enough to come to me and say, Syl or Sylvia, this. And that's for true friendship.
Yeah.
That's really not only friendship, but you love and you care about that person because you're able and you feel comfortable enough to come and say to them, that hurt me, Suzanne. You did this and that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And you can fix things. And that has, we have a saying in Spanish, I won't go into it, but it's basically, if you don't tell me, I'm not going to know. Because sometimes we do things without being, without intentionally hurting that person. Because it's just who we are, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get whatever. And I always say that to me is non-negotiable. I was just talking to Carla about this the other day. I'm like, you better damn well tell me if I do something. Like, that is like,
That's a good one.
I need to know.
Yeah.
Like, if I do something,
Yeah.
please call me. I'm not going to get upset with you. On the other hand, if I'm a friend who cares, I'm going to say thank you.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
can sort it out. One of my mentors, she has a lot of long-term friends. She's a very good friend. So she has these long-term friends. And she said to me, she was telling me a story about how she got into they got into an argument with, or a falling out or whatever with a very good, very long-term friend. And once they worked it through, she came back to her and she said, well, I hope we never fight like that again. And she said, my mentor, she said, no, I hope we're friends long enough that we have another opportunity to work through something.
Yes,
right.
Like that's part of, I think,
Yeah.
you're not always going to agree. You're going to
No.
accidentally hurt each other. And she was like, I hope our friendship has the fortitude that we have another time when we don't agree or when something comes to light and we can sustain it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
That's really important in a relationship.
Absolutely. It's Kayanna.
And I would just say consideration. I think consideration is one of the highest forms of love. Like when you love somebody, you consider their feelings, you consider their time. I think, especially as you know, my schedule is very, when I first got into this position, many of my friends were like, okay, you don't have time for us. Oh, we can't do this. They would make me feel so bad sometimes. So I had to have that conversation like, hey, this season of my life is a little different. I used to work from home, so you come over to the house, after work and do all that. Now it's like, oh, I gotta go here. Oh, this just came on my calendar. I can't make it anymore. And they used to be very upset, but like consider the season I'm in, consider the time, just like how I do for you. So consideration would be my big thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, those are important. Honestly, I think for me, like there's a lot, but for me, it's like, I don't want to question where I stand. Like, don't let me guess. Like, don't let me walk in a room thinking you're talking about me.
Absolutely.
Don't let me hear that you're in a space they were talking about me, because I don't care what they say. What did you say and what did you do?
How did you respond?
Right. Like, I don't want to question where I stand in your life, because like if you're my people, I've got you.
Right.
Thick or thin, like all the things. So it's just like, I don't want to have to question, because I will never let you question where you stand with me. I don't believe in making people jealous or, like this one's a better friend, or made little snide remarks about like, oh, this person's such a good friend because they do this or they do that. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm an adult. And even before I was an adult, I just don't have time for it. So do not let me question where I stand in your life, because I will absolutely just walk out.
Right.
Yep.
Like, that's just a non-negotiable for me. I think it's icky. So it's a non-negotiable.
I agree with that. All of these I agree with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. So Miss Sylvia, I'm gonna go to you. Do you think it's too late to form like meaningful friendship when you're an adult?
No.
Okay.
I'm 58. Everyone has said their age. I'm 58 years
Okay,
old.
girl. All right.
You got it.
You
You
look
got it.
good.
You got
look
it.
good.
58 with 11 grandchildren, okay?
Lord.
And 5 children.
Yes.
Okay?
Looks amazing.
Amazing.
As I said earlier, I have friends that are young and I
Yeah.
have friends that are older than me. And different times of your life, certain different opportunities that come, create certain new circle of friends. Because where life takes you, right? It's like, oh, wait a minute. Well, now you formed a different sort of relationship, and they can be very meaningful because you're at a different phase. And those friends sort of become a new circle, but in a different phase and a different avenue, if you want, you have many streets, right? So in this street, this person, this little group is for this, and you can cross them over, but I feel like you have to have those different friends at different ages, and they can be very meaningful and they're important. And one of the things that I'm gonna end on that one is, the older I get, the more important I see that the friends that are around are the ones that are going to be there. And the reason is, as you have children and they have their families, you don't want to burden, as a parent, you want your children to do what you've done.
Yeah.
And so they're always there for you, but you have friends that are all in your same age bracket, and those are very meaningful because you take care and you check in on each other, which is very different from being younger because it's a different type of life phase that you're at, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely in an older age, yes, those can be very meaningful, especially, you know, as we age, because it's life, just your body changes, everything changes, and the way you perceive things changes. So your priorities become a little bit more different.
So you're open to adult friendship? Like,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's a saying, no new friends. So it's a thing. Okay. Yes. Julie, what about you? Do you think it's...
That is not my saying.
like Julie's like, we just met a few years ago, right? So
like all of the new friends. No, everybody knows I'm like a extreme extrovert. So I realize that lends itself to like being able to make connections maybe easier than maybe folks who are more shy or more introverted or are just in a different season of their life where they can't maybe have the same fluidity or whatever. I think that I hear this from women a lot, I think women are lonely. You know, I think that there are women who are, maybe they did drift away from their friends that were their college friends or their high school friends or their mom friends or whoever it might be, and they may be feeling isolated. And I can appreciate that it can be hard to connect with people, especially in the age of like the internet and social media and everything. Like, how do you make these like serious connections? So I definitely believe in being able to make new friends but I do think it takes a level of courage. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. And that's hard. That's hard, especially as you get older. And like I said, you could easily become more guarded or jaded. So it takes a level of like courage and I think confidence to give it a whirl. And like not everybody's gonna become your bestie, and that's okay. You can't take that personally. Some people are not looking for new friends. It doesn't even mean that they're unfriendly. Maybe they just like truly are at capacity. Like I'm, you know, in the season of my life where I just genuinely can't pour into another person. And that doesn't make them unfriendly or a bad person, but you also can't take that personally. You also can't let that derail your efforts to make meaningful connections. And I think like Kayanna, you said it earlier, I think it's really important to think outside the box too. Like when we're younger, we're drawn to people who look like us, who share lots of things in common with us, who geographically, whatever it might be. And I think as you become an adult in different seasons of your life, you have the ability to like really connect with people that I in many ways prefer. The friendships that teach me something about that's very different than myself. So I think also it takes like intention to be like, you know what, I want to connect with someone who isn't just like immediately, we have all of these things in common, you know? And even if you look back, I don't mean to stereotype everybody, but I think a lot of us, if you look back when you're younger, like a lot of your friends even like looked like you, you'd share clothes with them. These are not like accidents, right? Like those things happen because you're drawn to people who you have a lot of commonalities with. Nothing wrong with it, but I think it takes a lot. I think there's a lot more opportunity for growth and personal development and like different types of cool connections when you really look at sort of taking that like unconscious bias or that like filter out of it and being like, wow, like this person's energy is really cool, or you know, you're not worried about their age, or you're not worried about like these other things that maybe I think we're drawn to things that mirror us. So like, again, nothing wrong with it, but there's something really beautiful when you're able to like push yourself outside of that. And that's when I think meaningful friendships can really occur as an adult.
No, absolutely. My best friend, my absolute best friend in the world, like she's Brazilian. And so it's like when we met, she doesn't watch American TV. Like she didn't watch American TV. Like it was just like I couldn't fathom that. She just doesn't watch TV, right? And I was like, who doesn't watch TV? And it was just like, oh my God, I've been trying to be friends with you for so long. And, you know, it was just like, we ended up bonding over Sex and the City because that was the first American show. So there's a whole story like behind that. That's like
funny.
the first American show she watched and was obsessed, things like that. But even then we had differences because she was team Mr. Big, I was team Aiden.
And that,
Mr. Big all the way.
yeah.
Okay.
The irony in that is that is a show about female friendships.
It is, but
like at its core.
I like to be loved and adored. I like to be loved.
That's
like
true.
so she had to chase him
That's true.
Like that was tough for me.
That's
I don't chase because he
I can see
always
that.
made her question where she stood in his life.
You're right.
That's
can
my
see that.
non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah.
I couldn't. Like
Yeah,
so
you're
in
right.
all shows, I'm
Mhm.
always gonna
You're right.
choose the one that doesn't make me question where I stand. So, but yeah, so and and she is one of my closest friends. Well, she is my best friend. She moved back to Brazil, and like sometimes we don't talk for months.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I call her, and she's like, "How do you know I just landed in America?" Because I feel like every time, and it happened again last
I
week,
know.
right? And it was just like she's like, I was trying to sneak in the country and out. She's moving back to America, and next Texas girl, like there's a whole
What part of Texas?
I don't even know. I told her like, yeah, some big fancy neighborhood. But I was like, girl, like her choices was Florida and Texas. And I was like, really, those two places.
Yeah.
Like, but so she now's married with 2 kids, and she lived here when she was a teen. She just cannot do the New England winter again. She said, she's like, she
get
just
it.
cannot,
Yeah.
and she doesn't think her kids can. Like I go there, like we're in t-shirts and shorts, and like she's like in the winter. I was like, dude, she's like, it's winter. I was like, girl, New England would be ashamed of you. So yeah, I did have a lot of friends that looked like me when we were in high school and in our little group, right? And
Yep.
we dressed alike. We did the whole thing. I never did the baby hair, but I did do the black eyeliner with the Vaseline. So
That's funny.
like, yeah, so we all kind of look similar. But no, you're right. I do appreciate the differences in different
Yeah.
women and different group, and just learning and liking different
Yep.
things. So that's wonderful. All right, so for you, do you believe, I know you're still on the younger side, but do you believe as adults we can still find deep, meaningful friendship?
As a baby adult, I do think, I'll say a few things. I feel like sometimes it is hard to find genuine friendships nowadays, but
Yeah.
I hate to bring this up, but
Tell
I
me.
do blame social media because
Yes, no, for real. We love it, but yes.
Right, because
Yes.
I feel like
You're not wrong.
social media has made friendships like an aesthetic. Like,
Yeah.
me and my friend, we're going to brunch. Like, that's not what a friendship is. Can I call you and cry because I'm in
Thank
crisis
you.
right now? Like, I
Yes.
think we have
Mm.
this weird outlook on what friendship should be.
Yeah.
And I think it's social media to blame. I do
Yeah.
like social media. But it's not that. I think I'll echo what Julie said and say it's about being intentional with every decision, with making plans. We're so busy again with my life, my schedule's like this, but I have to carve out at least
I
3
do.
hours to, go out to dinner and things like that. And I love what they said, having the different groups. When I was growing up, me and my friends, it's like, who's going to this party? Again, I like to hang out with the guys, so whoever, the football team, just hanging out. Now it's kind of like, I'll shout out my group. Sean,
Yes.
Ani from
Yes.
QCC, Jenny from QCC,
Anna.
Katie from UMass Chan. We just randomly go out like, hey, let's try this dinner spot. And then
Yeah.
we're there. And I'm like, I would never in a million years think, I always said like my community I would never make community friends. That's what I always said. I'm like, heck no. I'm like, no, they can't really know who I am. But then I'm like, once I made a decision to, just give other people a try, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing ever. It's literally the best thing ever. So yeah, friendships as an adult, you just have to be intentional.
No, absolutely. Like, absolutely. And I know, because in that group, like, everybody's so different, right?
Yes.
And, like,
Yes. Different age group, different career path. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
gender, all
Yep,
the
I
things.
love
that.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to start a friendship? They're, like, struggling. Like, they don't feel like they have any close friends, and they're looking to.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's hard.
I think first start off with what are you looking for in a friendship? Like, what's the purpose? Like, are you looking for like party friends? Are you looking for people to help you open doors? Are you looking for people to just have conversations with? Like, what do you want? What would be like a fulfilling friendship? Now you have that. Now make another listen. I once was speaking on a panel, and community looks different. Like, I grew up thinking like my community had to be a certain way. My friend group had to be a certain way, right? I'm black, so they must be black. I'm this, so they must be, you know what I mean? And I found so much healing and support in, again, my friends, my community friends that I made, that I would never go out of my way. I'm like, okay, hi. I remember when I first saw Sean, he tried saying hi. And I like walked past him. I'm like, why is he saying hi to me? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And now he's like, you know, my bestie. I'm like, so community looks different. It just, and I think people should just have an open mind and put yourself out there. As hard as it is, you really do have to put yourself out there.
All right.
I'm going to echo a little bit on what you said too. It's really what are you looking for, and what phase of life are you in? You need to also find someone who's similar to you, and depending on the phase, right, that you're in. For me, being older, I'm not going to go look for a 20-year-old to be my best friend. I'm going to try to find someone who can match sort of like what you said, my energy, right? So definitely look at that, and just be truthful and honest with yourself. Like, what is it that you're looking for? Because I think that's what's important, and try to feel that energy. Make sure that it matches, because when you're older, it's not the same as being 30. It's not the same as being 20.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a different phase of life. So I would say, you know, just really keep that on the forefront, and be willing to open up a little bit, and sort of loosen up, because you can't be, you know, put up that wall. You need to let that down to be able to. How are you going to make a friend if you don't let that go, right? No matter what the background is on friendships or whatever, you have to start somewhere if you really want somebody. And if you're alone and you're looking for that, you need to be able to loosen up and sort of like, you know,
absolutely,
drag yourself over to the edge of your seat and say, I'm going to jump.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Gotta get outside.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
gotta get outside.
I think that's what it is. I think all relationships, and friendships certainly included, are an investment. So you have to be willing to put in the effort. Friends aren't just going to show up on your door and knock your door down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially not in the type of, like you said, digital age and the ages that we're in. You know, this isn't like you're not going to school and just running into these people. And, you know, you have to really put in the effort. So if there's somebody, like, I can think of a very good friend of mine who I thought, oh, well, I feel like I want to be friends with her, right? You know, like, she seems really great and thoughtful and fun and all these different things. And so I had to kind of put myself out there a little bit. And again, it's all right if she wasn't feeling it or whatever, but then it turned into this beautiful friendship because I was able to put in the effort. And again, you have to be able to, like, read the room too, right? You know, social cues and all this stuff. But you know, then you can kind of see whether that energy is being reciprocated, or, like, you know, if it's kind of mutual, I guess I'll say. But you have to put in the energy. I always say, like, you get back what you put out. So you have to put it out there. You do. I think that's an important thing. And, you know, you just, I think everybody here knows me pretty well, but I also think that, like, showing up with authenticity helps also, like, repel friendships that won't work out. And I'd rather know that kind of up front. Doesn't mean you can't be friendly or whatever, but like, I always say, like, you know, if you just, like, kind of let your weird flag fly, and then the people who, like, aren't into it, it's all right.
From the beginning.
It's all right, but, like, at least you know what I mean? You didn't show up in this way, and then they're like, oh, that's not who I thought you were, or, you know what I mean, your vibe has changed or something. Like, so I'm all about, like, especially at this phase of my life, I'm like, put it all out there. This is who I am, right?
Yeah.
And somebody's gonna be into it. Not everybody, but that's okay. You know? Yeah, and I'd rather know. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you think there's such a challenge with friendships because we use the term friends so loosely? Like, you meet someone, and, like Kayanna mentioned it, you know, a little bit about social media. It's like, oh, me and my friend, and it's like, yeah, it's brunch and it's girls trips and it's all of that. But, like, friendship is also real life. So do you think it's because we use the term so loosely? Because like, everybody's like, not everybody is your friend, and that is absolutely okay.
I totally agree with that. Yes. I do think that it's overused. I think it's an abused term. Like, what is a friend? Define a friend. Yeah. You know, it's okay to say, but I also understand why it happens. It's out of a good intention, but you don't want to say, like, I went to brunch with my acquaintance. You know, like, it just feels a little, like, awkward.
What are you talking about?
like, wait, what?
Okay.
You know? So I think that's
Yeah.
how it like kind of happens. You just use this blanket term, right?
Oh my
You're like, no, not you. But you know what I mean? You're not gonna say like, take this picture, and, yeah, right?
Right.
Like that's weird. So I think that's kind of how it. But it's also, I think again, unique to women. A lot of times when especially when you're young, and not that it can't happen when you're older too, but you have a best friend, right?
Yes.
And like, so then the other people there's all these sort of like
Yeah.
layers, right?
Yeah.
Like of like, and I think that changes a lot as you get older, because again, you can feel really close to someone in one way, and this other person you don't have those things in common with, but there's other things you feel really close or that you share. So I think like, I don't know what the answer to it is, but I do think like getting away from those labels maybe like could help, I think, as well, because it's true, it gives a sense of intimacy where there isn't, but it
Right.
also I think it can be, I don't want to say competitive, but I think it can make people feel some type of way.
Yeah.
If you say, if we walk into a room and I say, oh, this is my best friend, Sylvia, and also these are my two friends, like that's weird. You know what I mean? Like all of it is weird. So just like, I think, I don't know what the answer is to it, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and especially like you say, social media, forget it. I have 5,000 friends. Well, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Somebody will text me sometimes and say like, "Who's this person? They're your friend," and I'm like, "They're my friend
I
where?"
don't know.
Yeah,
Literally.
on Facebook. I'm like, "Well,
like,
that's not real."
Jolly, your friend is saying crazy
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Like, who is this
I'm
person?
like, I don't even like that person. I don't even know that person. You know, but it is true because we've applied this
Yeah.
label to like
Yeah.
way too much. But again, I don't know what the answer is.
So, I mean, the next brunch I go to, I'm going to be like having brunch with my acquaintances.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, I'm
It's
dying.
weird, right?
It's weird.
It is
It
weird.
is. It is. It is.
So, okay. All right. Do you
So-
think it's an overused term?
It is, and I think also people see the word friends differently.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They measure it differently. So I think it's an individual thing. People, like you said, an acquaintance is a friend. A best friend is a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
My
Or
cousin
somebody
is
like-
a friend.
A
Yeah.
spectrum.
Someone
Yeah.
who I work with is a friend. So
Mhm.
it's really how that person perceives it. And I think friend is just, it's a term.
Okay.
It's an everyday term.
Yeah.
I don't think it holds what it used to. I don't think it really it doesn't it just doesn't hold
I
what
know.
it used to hold. When you said this is my friend, I know when I was growing up or even in my 20s and 30s, it was different.
Yeah.
That was my friend. That's my friend. But in today's world, the friend is like you said,
Just
it
could
could be an
apply to
acquaintance,
anybody.
It could
Yeah.
be anybody.
I know somebody who uses the word inner circle for like their like people that
Yeah.
are true trusted, you know, and that helps define, I think, like I can be friends with lots of people, but
Yeah.
these are the people that like know me and
Love
they
it.
I trust them. They, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, labels, I don't know.
No. So
It's
well, let's hear from the younger crowd.
I really actually don't. I don't have anything to add. I just know that it's loosely used.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I feel like it gives a lot of like mixed signals.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, that's my friend, but in her head it's like, no,
No,
girl.
we
It's
ain't.
like, we're not friends. So it's just like a little. It's
I-
awkward.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awkward.
No, it is. I mean, I don't think like I certainly don't have the answer, but I get it. But like it's like sometimes like when you, this is my.
I introduced
And
like,
then-
oh, this is Suzanne.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even like, oh, this is my friend. And then it's like, oh, so where did you meet this person? Oh, how long have you guys been friends? I'm like, oh my
Right.
gosh, you're stressing me.
Like too much.
You're stressing me out.
I know, like we don't have the answer. So if you have the answer, let us know. But I do think it's used too loosely, but it has kind of lost its meaning a little bit because
Yeah.
again, like for me, like a friend was like just somebody who knows you. But again, I mean, I am guilty of it. Like sometimes I'll say like because they're not my friend, and it's not in a bad way. It's just I was like, oh, this
Not
is my
close.
friend
Yeah.
because I'm like, what do you say? This is my acquaintance.
Yeah.
This is somebody I run into in
And
the
it's different with
community.
guys. Again, they say, like, this is my buddy.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I struggle so it was like I love you, because it's like so it's a thing that I struggled with for a very very long time because it's like I'm from Jamaica. It's just not a thing that we said, right? And like they just drop it at a hat.
Yeah.
So it's like I love you
Yes,
back.
it's like it took me
yeah.
a while to like get into
Kayanna's
it.
like,
I know. And a boss,
XO.
like so wrong, actually told me to like like hug people and
No.
yeah, it literally could have had a lawsuit. But I didn't at the time know like to hug people and to tell them I love them, because I was just like, what am I at work? What am I telling these people I love them for? I don't love them. But then like, so I looked like the weird one because I wasn't saying I love you like at the drop of the hat. I was like, dude, I was in my 20s, a lot younger, different, and like I know I wasn't a hugger. Scary to believe.
Shocking. I know.
Wow.
Yes. All right. I know.
Okay. Shocking.
But
like you.
Yeah, girl. I know. I was like, oh my God, coming in. Like, I like people, and like I want people to do well. And so for me personally, Joe, it's just like if you show me who you are, it all depends. Like, so there's levels, and I know like. My friend thinks like she's like, oh my God, you have this conspiracy theory thing, but like there are levels to how I remove you from my life. Like if you're just, I will keep you at a distance. I will be polite and all of that because you're not worth my spot in heaven. But if you're like a bad person, like you cease to exist. So,
right,
like. Luckily I don't know many bad person like that, but like just so. Anyway. How about friends group? Let's talk about friends group. And we mentioned it a couple of different times, like different friends groups. Like, and I think sometimes folks will try to mesh the friends group, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So, are you a part of different friends group? Well, yes.
Yeah.
And have you ever tried to mesh them, or are you just like, you know what, let them stay where they are?
So yes, I am a part of
Multiple.
different. Yeah,
Yes.
multiple. But the example I'll give is like my church friends versus like my community
Lord.
friends. Two separate friends, and of course, Kayanna being Kayanna, I love hosting. Game nights, having a little party, get together. Oh, everybody comes to my house all the time. People love it. I was like, church friends meet community friends meet church friends. It's just like, oh, okay, hey. But surprisingly, it worked out fine. I feel like I was making things up in my head. Because, because I'm like, these are my community friends. That's their title, and these are my church friends. When you figure out the church, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
These people might be weird. But no, it's like, at the end of the day, we're all human, and we had a great old time.
I love it.
So I do think it's possible, and I do like doing it.
All right.
And I like throwing people for a loop.
Yep.
Like,
all right. I love it. Yeah. All right. How about you? Do you mix friend groups?
I'm like you. I love to host.
Yes.
Love to host.
Love it.
I love to cook. I love to host and bring people together.
Yeah.
I think people are adults, and when they come together, it's a lot of like what we spoke about just in general. People get vibes off each other, and whether they mesh or not, I mean, I don't really pay attention to it. I'm entertaining and making sure everyone's good, but I have different circles of friends, and bringing them together gives me satisfaction. Like, I'm a good person.
Right.
I brought them all together, and
they can take it from there.
Yeah.
And
it gives them the
I think
opportunity.
that's the best part of life. Like, I feel like that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Connecting.
People,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Connecting them.
Yeah.
So you cross-pollinate.
I definitely, oh gosh, yeah, I do. I agree with everything you ladies said. Like, I love connecting people, and I think, again, I think whether or not they end up forming
Being
a friendship,
friends.
that's between them, you know what I mean? And it's not an expectation by any means, but like,
Right.
there's nobody that I would be like, oh no, I wouldn't want you to like, get in the same space, or I think it's one of the coolest things. I think it's one of the ways that you do connect, especially as adults, with like people who maybe, one of your friends from when you're younger could end up being friends with one of your colleagues or whatever it is. They have something in common. I think there's nothing like, has everybody been in a wedding at some point or another?
Yes.
There's nothing like being in a wedding that will show you what bringing different friend groups together.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
All the bridesmaids?
Yes. For better or worse.
Yes.
It can go real weird, or it can be like a whole vibe.
Yeah.
Like, but oh man, you can tell when people, and listen, now people I think are, wedding experiences are at different ages, whatever, fortunately. But, back when it was more traditional and stuff, it was like, you could tell when somebody hadn't connected their friend groups, and they're like,
awkward.
Yeah. Who are you?
and you're like, wow, okay, we're gonna spend a whole ass weekend together.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, we have nothing in common, but hopefully you have the friend in common, and that can be enough. But you can tell when people haven't dabbled.
I love that.
Yeah, funny. So I'm in a book club. Like there's 3 of us in the book club.
I love
So
it.
I met Carla a few years ago, and we became friends. She's one of my close friends now. And you had a similar experience with Carla, and it's a little deeper than mine. Because you're all a family too, and then she introduced me to Yolanda, and then so Yolanda, like we're acquaintances, and then we went through leadership Worcester together, and we became really good friends, and then we formed a book club. So Yoli and I love to read, and Carla doesn't read, so does not. So that's our book club. So
I love it.
like talk about mixing. So Carla's my shopping friend. He only doesn't like to shop.
Yep.
So it's just I do, like you're right. Like sometimes you can't, because like if I have like the fitness person and the person who wants the I don't have a thing against fitness, but I do. And those people who hike and run like Julie and like like that, you know. I was in a run club at one point.
Yeah,
we ran a run club
were.
together. Like I joined a run club, and then the person who just all they talk about is like baking and eating a lovely cake. I might not bring them together in one space. But
Hey,
you're
I like
right.
cake.
I think that's our job, right? Because you never know. And I'm always thinking of like, this person can help this person do something, or you know, you're right. Like there's a connection, there's that community, things like that. Like you know, the interjects like when I did the summit the other day, like this young lady, I know she was looking to make some connection. I reached back out to her last week, and she was like, "Oh, so I met some people at the summit." She was just like, "Carla is lovely. Like now she's working with Carla's nonprofit, and she met Yoli and things like that." So I think. You never know, like magic can happen. Like magic can happen, but I do know sometimes, you know, like I was said to my sister, like I don't want us to be like, I didn't want my sister to take my friend, like share friends with me, because again, like I have moments where I know, like I just want to hibernate. Like I just want to hibernate, and then like if there's friends with my sister and then she brings them over, and I'm just like, I just want to be.
You need your space.
In my exactly. So
But it is, I think, a sign of emotional maturity too. When like, I think when you're younger, your friendships can be more competitive too. You're like, oh well, if those 2 friends hang out, they didn't invite me, then like I feel hurt or whatever. Well, now I think when you get to a more mature place, you're like, oh, I think that's beautiful. It's not that they're leaving you out. They're not like leaving you in the dust. It's just they have this thing in common. You know, Carla's not mad that you're having book club because she's like, that's not my jam, right? Like, but you'll call her when you're doing the other things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and we send her like pictures of the more adventurous pages. she'll read those. She'll read. But yeah, no, it does take maturity, because you're right. I'm trying to remember, you know, like back in the days, I don't know, when I was a teen, but like you're right. Like, as again, if they hang out, like that's cool, because like I can't. So yeah, it's like no, I don't. As I get old, I don't have FOMO. I don't fear missing out. I'm okay.
I have
like,
a lot on my plate already.
Thank you. I do so much. I go so many places. Like, and there's so many people in my life, and like relationships are so important to me. Like, you know, it's like I'm a wife. I have to spend time with the husband. I'm a mom. I have to spend time with the kids, and I have to spend time with the kids individually, because they're, you know, like different. And one's into Spider-Man, one's into anime. Then I have to spend time with myself. Then for like I gotta work. I gotta work because I gotta pay the bills, right? So then I gotta work. Then I have the Positively Suzanne thing. Then I have the community thing. Then I like there's all these little things, and you know, but like my friendships are so important to me, and it might not be as often as I would like, but like when we get together, man, it's like, whew. Like coordinating time is insane. But like you said, I like how you was like, you let's just text and say, hey, let's just try out this new restaurant. So maybe we need to start like, let's just like, listen, let's go. And who could show up. Versus trying to coordinate it, because it took us 6 months.
Oh my God.
Honestly.
It was just like, I'm going to be here at 5 p.m. on Friday night. Y'all come. That's it.
Try it.
I love that.
Let's try it. So I'm going to, like, you taught us something.
I like that.
We
like, yes.
I like that.
And we will learn from the youth.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
All right, we've been chatting so much, but I do want to ask the final question. What is the best piece of advice you've received from a friend?
From a friend?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. There's so
Or
many.
ever given. I'll give you that. Like, the ever received or ever given.
Somebody else go first.
All right.
It's a big one. I know.
All right.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
It is a big one. It is a big one. Oh my goodness, because we've received so many great advice over the
Yeah,
years.
it's
So,
true.
a great advice, not the best. How
Yeah.
about a great advice
Great
that you've
advice.
received or given?
The youngest will go last.
That puts you in the hot seat, I think.
Okay, okay.
I think quite a few years ago, I'm talking probably 15 years ago, I was self-doubting, and there was this, actually, she was a very good friend of mine, older woman. She actually passed. And I remember her saying I was at a crossroad when it came to my career. And I remember her saying to me, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. And we were talking about culture. She was Jewish and came from Sudbury, very wealthy town, right? And here I am in Framingham. And we were just talking about differences and how that affects you. And sometimes, you know, it makes you hesitate on making a move, right? And she said to me, doesn't matter if you live in Sudbury next to me, doesn't matter that you're Latina and I'm Jewish, we're all the same. You need to believe in yourself. And she said, don't be afraid of doing what you're thinking of doing, which I had been talking to her about. And she says, just do it. Just do it, but you have to believe in what you're going to do, because if you don't, it's not going to go anywhere. And I think, you know, when I think back, you know, as you ladies are talking, I think that was one of the advices that I feel that I've learned, you know, that I've held on to, and every so often I remember that, because she said, don't ever lose sight of what you believe in. You have to believe in what you're doing, because if not, it's not going to be good. It's not going to, whatever your purpose is, you're destroying it because you don't believe in yourself.
Doubt.
So I do want to say that to me was something that I've carried with me for many years, even though you lose it at moments, right? But then you sort of,
Come back
again,
to it.
come back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. How about you? Given or received?
It's kind of like sticking with the friendship theme in a sense, but like, don't talk to yourself the way you wouldn't talk to your friend. You think about how you tell your friends, like, oh, I love your hair, I love your outfit, you look great, have the cake, have the snack, whatever, like, whatever it might be, you deserve rest.
Yes.
You're doing the most, like, but we have a hard time, I think, transferring that to ourselves, and like, we live with ourselves. So I think that advice kind of is in the theme, but also I think it really resonates, because it's true. You think about all your true good friends and all the ways you see them as beautiful and successful and empowering and like all of these amazing things. And so sometimes it's good to see yourself through your friends' eyes, I think, too, and allow yourself to sort of, you know, bring some of that back to yourself too, and use that inner voice to say, like, you know, allow their lenses to kind of encourage you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And to end it all, one of my best friend that I brought up for the first question, Veronica, she said to me, and as a woman of faith, she did say to me, keep God at the center and everything else will be added. It's a Bible verse, I think, Matthew 6:33. And I have held that, because sometimes, you know, you go through the turbulence and your faith kind of like shakes, but knowing that God has my back, as long as I give it to Him, things will work out. I have held that, and I'm still holding on to it. So.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Ladies, I know we can talk all day. We may have to do this at the conference, but I absolutely appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your thoughts. And I think that, you know, every single question that you answer, and that's one of the reasons why I asked you individually, because I think that, again, different age group, different demographic, and people are going through it and want to say, well, hey, you know, it's similar or not similar or whatever. I want to hear what somebody younger thinks. I want to hear what somebody in their 40s thinks. I want to hear what somebody a little older thinks, that, you know, things like that. I think it's important because it's happening. And I think women, we are too important to each other to lose sight of each other. So, and when you are going through something, you end up feeling isolated and you end up feeling like there's nobody who understands. And I think that's important. Like, we have to have conversations and we have to talk about the things, even if they're not pretty. And like, I come from a culture like we just don't talk about things and we internalize a lot of things. And one of the things, when you internalize things, it just makes you feel alone.
Yep.
And I just think there's just too much going on in the world for us to start like feeling alone and doubting ourselves. And if you can have a friendship that helps you build and helps you believe in yourself and help you trust that your purpose is greater than you ever even imagined, I think that's important. So I'm going to thank you all for being here. I'll give you just 30 seconds to share your final thoughts on friendship, and then we're just going to wrap up the show. So I mean, do we want to start with the youngest?
Oh, okay. I think I said it all. Thank you
did.
so much, Suzanne, for inviting me, and thank you. I've learned so much from you ladies, so I appreciate it. Until next time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for inviting me. And again, I've also learned, and this has been amazing. This has been amazing, and stay true to yourself and always show up as yourself, no matter where you're at.
Yes.
My final anecdote or reflection is that while you can be friendly with a lot of people, have friends that are, varying walks of life and different things, that you also have to remember that those who you associate closest with, people are going to perceive you as, part of, I think it's something to just like a cautionary tale of, you are by association for better or worse. So you want to make sure that that at least your core values are the same with the people who you're closest to. Doesn't mean you can't be friendly, doesn't mean you can't say hello, doesn't mean you can't whatever.
Yes.
But I think it's something that I've learned over the years is that you can like a lot of people, but you want to think to yourself, if somebody was looking from the outside in, how would they perceive me? Is this somebody who I align with? Again, core values, for the truly inner circle, people you spend the most time with, you become like. So this has been so fun. I think this is so relevant. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah.
Go on. Add, girl.
I don't think we touched on it, but I would also just say, be a good friend to yourself as well.
Yes.
And I'll end it at that.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. So, Julie, Sylvia, Kayanna, thank you all so much. Honestly, I appreciate you coming on, and I did learn a lot from you guys, because I think that whenever we're in a space, I think we have to be open-minded and open up ourselves to learn things, and I think that's honestly how we grow. And I think as women, we truly have to understand that our light is unique. We are magic. And there's no one else like you who's as magical as you, but they're also magic. So just show up authentically, show up as you, cheer for other women, mention their names in room. Like, I promise you, them winning does not take away from you. Them winning does not mean that you're losing. And if you're in a relationship, like, the relationships that are not good for you. Like, we might have said it, but like, know it better than us. You know your boundaries. You know your non-negotiables. You know how you feel when you have a conversation with someone, how you walk away. And if you feel less than, then that's not the space that you need to be in. And it's okay to be brave. It's okay to walk away. And as these ladies mentioned, I think they all three said it, like, you were thinking that everybody's going to think, what happens if I walk away? What are they going to think? Sometimes they're not even thinking about you, because again, we're like, oh yeah. No, they don't care. And the other thing is, if they are, let them.
Yeah.
Let them think what they want to think. We spend so much of our lives bothered and worried about what other people think of us. And at the end of the day, like, you have to like you. You have to love you. You have to enjoy spending time with yourself. Be kind to yourself, like she says, because I'm like, you have to, the same way you treat a friend, as Julie said, that's how you got to treat yourself. Like, if you had a friend that was doing something bad to another friend, would you tell them? Yeah. So if somebody's doing something bad to you, absolutely. Like, just let it go. And I just want people to be good and happy. So I am always grateful, always humbled to be in spaces with different women who are just absolutely brilliant, and I get to learn from them. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys and all your glory and your light. All right, thank you. And thank you all for being with us through season 4. Season 5 will premiere in the fall, so thank you all. Gotta shout out my girl Carla, who is, I know she's watching and always, always, always a big supporter. Sometimes I feel like she might be the only one that watches my show. No, she'll text me. She's like, hey, I didn't get to watch your show, but I'm going to watch it later. And I appreciate that so much. So thank you to all our loyal viewers and subscribers. We appreciate you. And Paul, who I tell everything to. You know what I did there? My executive producer, I appreciate you. Listen, live, love, laugh, have an amazing summer. And until next time, this is Suzanne and
Julie.
Sylvia.
Kayanna.
ta-ta.